What began as a peaceful sunlit drive through the breathtaking canyons of southern Utah was supposed to be a day of adventure and relaxation. The woman, accompanied by her loyal dog, was eager to explore the stunning red rock landscapes and open desert highways, soaking in the beauty of nature. But in an instant, the weather shifted. Dark clouds rolled in, casting ominous shadows over the road. The woman's excitement quickly turned to unease as the wind picked up and rain began to fall in heavy sheets, obscuring her view and making the road slick and treacherous. Suddenly, a wall of muddy water surged across the highway. A flash flood, swift and merciless, engulfed her car, trapping it in a swirling torrent. The force of the water was overwhelming, and within moments the vehicle was surrounded on all sides. The engine sputtered and died, leaving her stranded. Water began to rise rapidly, swirling around the wheels and creeping up the doors, pinning her and her dog inside with no way to drive to safety. Debris, branches, rocks, and trash hurtled past, slamming into the car with alarming force. The current grew stronger, shaking the vehicle and making escape seem even more impossible. Inside, the woman clung to her terrified dog, her heart pounding as she realized she was utterly at the mercy of the elements. The dog whimpered, sensing the danger, and she tried to soothe him, whispering words of comfort she barely believed herself. Panic set in as cold, dirty water began to seep into the car's interior, rising steadily around her feet. The sensation of water creeping higher was terrifying, a constant reminder that time was running out. Desperate, she fumbled for her phone. Her hands shook so badly she could barely dial, but she managed to call 911, her voice trembling as she pleaded for help and described her location as best she could. On the other end, the emergency dispatcher's calm voice offered a sliver of hope. Her call set off a chain reaction, mobilizing first responders and launching a race against time to reach her before the floodwaters claimed the car. Trapped and isolated in the middle of a raging flood, she could only watch helplessly as the water continued to rise. Every second felt like an eternity, and she wondered if help would arrive before it was too late. The roar of the flood was deafening, drowning out all other sounds. The car groaned and shifted under the relentless pressure, making her fear it might be swept away at any moment. All she could do was hold her dog close, trying to keep both of them calm as the water crept higher. She whispered promises that help was on the way, clinging to hope in the face of overwhelming fear. This harrowing ordeal is a stark reminder of how quickly a normal day can spiral into a life-or-death emergency. One moment, the world is calm and familiar. The next, it's transformed by the raw power of nature. In the desert, flash floods can strike with almost no warning, turning dry, familiar roads into deadly rivers in a matter of minutes. Even the most experienced travelers can be caught off guard. The woman's story is a powerful testament to the unpredictability of nature and the importance of being prepared for the unexpected, no matter how safe things may seem. It's a chilling example of why we must always respect the power of the elements and never underestimate the speed at which disaster can strike. As the minutes ticked by, her survival would soon depend on the courage, training, and determination of total strangers. The clock was ticking, and every moment mattered. This disaster was triggered by the remnants of Tropical Storm Priscilla, a storm that had already left its mark further south before making its way into Utah. As the system moved northward, it carried with it a vast reservoir of tropical moisture, setting the stage for an extraordinary weather event. The storm unleashed record rainfall on southern Utah, drenching the region in a matter of hours. Torrents of rain battered the iconic red rock landscapes, transforming familiar vistas into scenes of chaos and uncertainty. The region's arid landscape, accustomed to long stretches of drought and only occasional showers, was utterly unprepared for such a relentless deluge. The parched earth, hardened by years of sun, simply could not cope. Hardened ground couldn't absorb the water, creating perfect conditions for flash floods. Water raced across the surface, gathering speed and force as it carved new paths through the desert. Normally dry washes became raging rivers in minutes, their banks overflowing as the water surged with unstoppable power. What was once a trickle became a torrent, threatening everything in its path. Inches of rain fell in just a few hours, more than the area sometimes sees in an entire year. The sheer volume of water was staggering, overwhelming drainage systems and natural barriers alike. The storm's intensity caught even seasoned meteorologists off guard. Forecast models struggled to keep up with the rapidly changing conditions, and warnings were issued with growing urgency. Roads vanished beneath muddy torrents, bridges were compromised or swept away, and entire communities found themselves suddenly isolated by rising floodwaters. Scenic drives, once popular with tourists, turned deadly, and tranquil parks became danger zones as water levels rose with alarming speed. Residents faced a force of nature rarely seen in the desert. Many were forced to evacuate, leaving behind homes and memories as the floodwaters advanced. The flooding was historic, altering the landscape in mere hours. Rivers carved new channels, and the very shape of the land was changed by the storm's relentless assault. Priscilla's impact will be remembered as a benchmark for severe weather in the region, a stark lesson in the power of nature and the vulnerability of even the driest places. It's a sobering reminder. Powerful storms can strike anywhere, anytime, and their effects can be both immediate and long-lasting. Preparation and respect for weather warnings are essential. Communities must remain vigilant, ready to act quickly when the skies darken and the warnings sound. Nature's fury does not discriminate, and in moments like these, the resilience and unity of a community are put to the ultimate test. The woman's 911 call was a desperate plea for help. She was trapped in her car, surrounded by rising floodwaters, with no way out. The rain was relentless, and the water level was climbing fast. Her call set emergency services into motion. Firefighters, paramedics, and rescue teams sprang into action, donning their rain gear and preparing for the challenging conditions ahead. Dispatchers kept her calm while search and rescue teams mobilized. They reassured her that help was on the way, even as they coordinated the complex rescue operation. Flooded roads and washed-out bridges made reaching her a challenge. The rescue teams had to navigate treacherous conditions, with water covering the asphalt and bridges no longer passable. Volunteers and professionals alike braved the storm, bringing specialized rescue gear. They were determined to reach her, no matter the obstacles. The car was found submerged in a remote wash, water up to its windows. The situation was dire, and time was running out. Rescuers quickly assessed the unstable situation. They had to act fast, as the car could be swept away at any moment. The flood currents were strong and unpredictable, posing a significant risk to both the trapped woman and the rescuers. Swift water rescue is perilous. Currents can overpower even the strongest responders. The team had to be extremely cautious as they entered the fast-moving water. A command post was set up on higher ground. From there, the rescue operation was meticulously coordinated, with every move carefully planned to ensure the safety of everyone involved. Every move was carefully coordinated to ensure safety. Communication was key, and the team used radios to stay in constant contact. The team devised a plan to reach the car and extract its occupants. They mapped out their approach, taking into account the rapidly changing conditions. Communication and teamwork were critical. The rescuers used hand signals and radios to coordinate their efforts, ensuring everyone was on the same page. The atmosphere was tense, but the rescuers remained focused. They knew that lives were on the line, and there was no room for error. Lives were on the line, and every second counted. The rescuers were acutely aware of the ticking clock, and the pressure was immense. Their training and courage would soon be put to the ultimate test. They prepared their ropes and gear, ready to face the dangerous currents. The community watched, hoping for a miracle. People gathered on a hillside, anxiously observing the rescue attempt from a safe distance. The rescue was about to begin. The team advanced toward the stranded car, ready to do whatever it took to save the woman trapped inside. The rescue team used a high-water vehicle to get as close as possible. Swift water specialists, tethered with ropes, braved the powerful current. One rescuer, in a dry suit and life vest, fought his way to the car. He reassured the woman through the window, then secured the vehicle with ropes. Breaking a rear window, they created a safe exit. The woman was fitted with a life jacket and carefully extracted. Her dog, frightened but unharmed, was coaxed out next. Both were guided to safety using an inflatable rescue boat. Paramedics checked them over on dry land. The woman was shaken but grateful. The rescue was a triumph of teamwork and bravery. First responders risked everything to save 2 lives. Their dedication turned a potential tragedy into a story of hope. This rescue is a testament to the skill and compassion of emergency crews. After the rescue, officials repeated a vital warning: turn around, don't drown. Most flood-related deaths happen in vehicles. People underestimate the power of moving water. Just a foot can float a car. 2 feet can sweep away SUVs and trucks. The woman in Utah was lucky, many are not. If you see a flooded road, stop and find another way. Never risk driving through water, especially at night. If your car stalls in rising water, get out and move to higher ground if safe. Your safety is more important than your schedule. Heed weather warnings and road closures. Simple decisions can save lives, yours and those of first responders. Always check forecasts before traveling in stormy weather. Turning around is the best choice you can make. As the floodwaters receded, the scale of destruction became clear. Roads were torn apart, isolating communities and disrupting daily life. Cleanup crews worked around the clock to clear debris and repair infrastructure. Some areas faced weeks or months without full access. The economic toll was heavy: damaged homes, farms, and lost tourism revenue. Local businesses suffered as visitors canceled trips. Yet the community rallied together, neighbors helping neighbors. Volunteers joined the massive cleanup effort. The spirit of southern Utah shone through adversity. Recovery would be long, but hope remained strong. Zion National Park was not spared. The Virgin River became a raging torrent, flooding roads and trails. Park officials closed major areas, including the iconic Narrows hike. Trails and bridges were damaged or destroyed. Cleanup and repairs would take time and effort. Tourists were disappointed, but safety came first. The event underscored the unpredictable power of nature in even the most cherished places. Always check park alerts and respect closures. They're there to save lives. Flash floods are uniquely dangerous, striking in minutes, often without warning. In deserts, hard ground can't absorb rain, so water rushes into dry washes and canyons. A distant storm can trigger a flood miles away, even under clear skies. Walls of water, carrying debris, can sweep away anything in their path. Never underestimate the force of a flash flood. Stay out of washes and canyons when rain threatens. Watch for sudden dark clouds, rising water, or distant thunder. If you notice these signs, move to higher ground immediately. Don't wait. Your awareness and quick action can save your life. Floodwaters hide dangers beneath the surface. Roads may be washed out, and currents are stronger than they appear. Respect the warning signs and stay alert in flood-prone areas. Knowledge and caution are your best defense. The events in southern Utah are a lesson in respecting nature's power. Always check weather forecasts and heed emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and know your evacuation routes. Never camp in low-lying areas or dry washes. Tell someone your plans before heading outdoors. Personal responsibility is key to staying safe. First responders are heroes, but prevention is better than rescue. Stay informed, be prepared, and make smart choices. Let's learn from this event and commit to safety. Respecting nature's warnings is the first step to survival.